Breathtaking.
It is.
As we celebrate the wonder of America.
Only found in America.
And Nat Geo's Bob Ballard joins us live too, from his deep-sea vessel in the South Pacific. Plus, National Geographic's opening their doors like never before, going deep inside their archives. Celebrate America's staggering beauty on this historic birthday.
This is one of the most beautiful things I've ever witnessed.
So as America marks this 250th, perhaps one of the gifts we can just take to remember the gifts that we have, the wonder that we have in this country.
Good afternoon and welcome back to our 24-hour celebration of America 250. We are going to begin this hour with the big reveal, the 7 natural wonders of America. They are stunning and vast, found in every corner of this great country. Iconic landmarks defining America's beauty, history, the strength of our people, and the original stewards of these great natural wonders. And we start with a wonder that is truly grand, carved by the Colorado River, 18 miles wide, 1 mile deep, and it's the first reveal of our natural wonders, the Grand Canyon.
The sun rising over the Grand Canyon, one of America's true natural wonders. So vast, it is impossible to fully grasp its beauty. For 6 million years, the waters of the Colorado River carving away at the rock. The canyon, 277 miles long, 18 miles wide. And from the rim, it's more than 6,000 feet down to the canyon floor. And on this day, we begin our journey as the sun comes up. We're about to fly over the canyon with the explorer who spent 14 months hiking the entire length of the canyon.
Morning.
Hey, Pete.
How are you?
A beautiful morning.
Thanks for getting up early.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're gonna go see something pretty cool.
We're not going to hike the whole canyon like you.
We take off from Flagstaff, Arizona, headed to the northernmost part of the Grand Canyon with National Geographic explorer Pete McBride.
So this right here out the window, we're looking at the South Rim where millions of Americans come every year.
We're about to cross into what is arguably one of the most iconic national parks in the United States. I would say it's one of the most remarkable landscapes on the planet.
The magnitude of the canyon etched so deep into the earth, it makes it unmistakable, one of the few canyons that can be seen clearly from space.
Our first real glimpse here of the canyon is the North Rim being illuminated by the morning sun here. It's really spectacular. So this is the North Rim, and we can see some of the South Rim here. And what's the distance between the two?
The widest stretch will be about 18 miles.
18 miles.
From above, the depth of the canyon is astounding.
You can stack how many Empire State Buildings to get to the top of the rim there?
You can stack 5.
5. That puts it in perspective.
Now you're getting your first glimpse of the architect of the canyon, the Colorado River. 1,450 miles through 7 states.
We can see the Colorado River snaking its way through the canyon. But we notice something else, too. There are parts of the canyon changed by climate.
So this rock formation that we're looking at used to be surrounded by water.
Correct.
Now completely surrounded by dry land.
We land on the north side of the canyon.
Nothing like landing in the canyon, huh?
Right?
Not far from one of the main gateways into the national park. And we make our way to the Colorado River.
So where are we headed?
This is Lee's Ferry. One step.
We head to one of the most iconic points on the Colorado River, Horseshoe Bend, which draws millions of visitors every year. And on this day, we look up, the visitors dotting the edge of the canyon, thousands of feet above us.
They're tiny, which gives you an idea of the scope of the canyon. But it's the draw, right?
I mean, it's a huge lure to come to these places. I mean, we all feel awe and wonder. And I think part of the dance and the balance is how to do it in a way that's sustainable.
Yeah, that's always the struggle, isn't it?
That's always the dance.
It was not long ago, I was one of those visitors up on the rim, capturing my own videos, marveling at the beauty of the canyon from above.
This is Horseshoe Bend in Arizona. Clearly, we're not the only ones.
The howling winds and the crush of people at the canyon's edge, all looking out at Horseshoe Bend and the Colorado River wrapping around it. And a century ago, it was someone else captivated by the beauty here.
I mean, just the scope of Horseshoe Bend here. It makes me think of President Roosevelt, Teddy Roosevelt, when he came here. He was an avid hunter. He was aware of the commercial possibilities, the money that could be made, and then he saw this place.
Yeah, and he said to them, and they were all timber barons and people that wanted to industrialize this place, he said, leave it as it is. You know.
He was that moved by what he saw.
Yeah.
And as we make our way down the river, we see the wildlife, the ducks crossing the river, the family of bighorn sheep making their way down to the water.
Hi, little guys.
The wild horses along the edge of the river. The Grand Canyon is a refuge for thousands of species. There are 5 different ecosystems here. And soaring high above, the California condor. Not so long ago, nearly extinct. Their rebound is considered one of the great success stories here. And we learn that many of the birds here don't migrate south in the winter. They simply migrate up and down the layers of the canyon. They can find their own climate, navigating the extremes found right within the canyon's walls. We head upstream, weaving our way through the canyon.
So you can see the dam coming into view.
We approached the Glen Canyon Dam, a wall of concrete 710 feet tall. They started building it in 1956. On the other side of the dam is Lake Powell, the second largest reservoir in America. And we noticed something else. Carved into the canyon walls here, you can still see the boreholes they drilled when they were building the dam.
So these holes in the rock on the side here were the work roads.
They were work roads. I mean, they built an entire town off to our right here called Page, Arizona.
Just to build the dam.
Just to build the dam.
Now, 70 years later, the sheer number of people who depend on the water from the Colorado River is staggering.
So this dam right here is a reminder of what this river is being used for and the tens of millions of Americans who depend on this water.
40 million Americans rely on this water.
But on the other side of the dam, a looming crisis.
The fact that Lake Powell on the other side of this dam, which is supposed to be full because of this dam, it is no longer.
It's currently at about 23% full.
How concerning is that?
Very. It's alarming because we're in our 3rd decade of drought. That's impacted by a hotter, drier climate. We have too many straws in the drink, basically, and it's hard to claw that back.
So bottom line, Americans everywhere have a vested interest in the future of this river.
Completely.
Along the river here, the steep canyon walls, we go in search of the secrets still being discovered here, the ancient rock writings that tell the story of the Native American ancestors who first lived in the canyon.
As you hike through the Grand Canyon, you're met with reminders of the ancestral Puebloans, the work that they did here, the cultural work. And you can see that this is a petroglyph here, etched into the side of the stone over my shoulder, reflective of the time. By some accounts, this right here is 1,000 years old.
There are 11 indigenous tribes deeply connected to the land here. For them, this is a sacred place.
The vastness of the Grand Canyon and the areas that surround it is simply staggering here. Everywhere you look, the rock formations, you can see layers in the rock that actually help tell the history, the age of the Earth. In fact, at the bottom of the Grand Canyon itself is rock that dates back nearly 2 billion years. And over my shoulder here, off in the distance, you can see the Navajo lands. Native Americans have called the Grand Canyon home for at least 12,000 years.
We make our way to the edge of the canyon along the south rim and prepare to hike down into the canyon with Pier, who spent more than a year hiking, and living the canyon.
When you stand on the rim, you can look in and be like blown away, but when you walk in, it gives you the reference of time and scale. And you start to realize really how small we are.
Which is actually a very valuable thing in coming here.
I think it's one of the most valuable things this place can offer to everybody. We're roughly 6,000 feet above the river, which is amazing to think we were at river level earlier today.
Yeah. You can see the lines in the rock right here, sort of recording time over centuries.
Yeah, it's just a layer cake of geologic time. The youngest layer is on the top, walking down to the oldest layers. The Colorado River, when it formed roughly 6 million years ago, created this, amazing landscape. It did all the heavy lifting.
In 2016, Pete, who is a filmmaker and photographer,
How cool is this?
and his friend Kevin Fedarko, a writer, would set out to hike from one end of the canyon to the other. It was a treacherous journey, 750 miles, more than 14 months.
Bush.
Hiking through all 4 seasons,
Pretty amazing.
the intense summer heat,
It's just beating down on us.
the storms, the winds as winter nears, navigating the edge of the cliffs.
Hard to imagine that that's potentially 3,000 feet down.
They would encounter the barriers and the beauty, too.
It's a nice view.
Awestruck by the canyon's many faces.
Wow.
Pete tells me they hiked the entire canyon, not to bring attention to themselves, but instead to bring attention to this natural wonder.
It wasn't about trying to thump our chests or conquer this place. It was a way to talk about this place. Hopefully the next generation or even my daughter could come to this place and see it like I did.
And to remember those who were here first. Carletta Toulouse was born deep within the Grand Canyon, a member of the Havasupai tribe. They're considered the guardians of the Grand Canyon. They have lived here at least 800 years.
You guys are laughing at me. No, listen. If you don't have any money, please do not leave it. It's okay. I'm gonna say it again. If you don't have any cash, please do not leave it. Okay. Stay. Watch the Grand Canyon. Okay? We didn't say anybody has to pay a leave. But for the people that do have money, just keep in mind that this is how we make an honest living. This is how we survive our families, pay our bills.